upon nest upon nest upon nest. Now, he's going to bring her some of the softest things in the forest to line the nest. And then they breed at the nest or adjacent on a branch, okay? Anatomically, it's physically impossible for an eagle to breed in midair, you guys. It's just not possible, okay? So they breed at the nest or on a branch adjacent to it. Now, as soon as that breeding happens, she starts dropping feathers from her brood patch right here, this area of her chest, okay? She's gonna start losing feathers like crazy. And then shortly after that, she lays her first egg. The egg is about the size of the cup of your hand, okay? A couple days later, usually about 4 days later, she lays another one. It's a little bit smaller, different color, and then she settles in. Okay, she's she's got the brood patch on the eggs. She's incubating. And he brings her food and talks to her. He brings her food and talks to her. I hope you're hearing this. Okay, and after about 10 days of incubating, she gets up and she leaves. And he settles in on the eggs. During that 10 days when she's on the eggs, he's developing a brood patch as well so that he can incubate. Incubation is usually about 35 days, you guys. I was working up in the interior of the state, up in the Yukon Delta National Wildlife Refuge, and I get this telephone call one day. Hello? Yes? Is this Brent Nixon? Yes, it is. Hey, I hear you're a good river runner. I said, yeah, I'm one of the best in the state right now. We want to run Kieserolk. The Kieserolk, you guys. The Kieserolk is a class 4, class 5 river. Class 6, you die. I was like, the Kieserolk, I've always wanted to run this. This is fantastic. Oh, by the way, who am I speaking to? McCaffrey. One of the greatest ornithologists in the state. We hit that first set of rapids on the Kieserolk. Brian goes, biggest eagle nest I've ever seen in my life. Okay, right. We got an hour later, climbed up to this nest. This wasn't an eagle nest. This was an alien landing zone. 5 humans could lie down inside this nest and not touch each other. This thing was massive, you guys. Brian wasn't interested in the sticks at the top of the nest. He turned into a ferret, and he disappeared up underneath the nesting. He's grabbing bones and sticks. He called me into the lab a couple of weeks later because we run testing, and then something amazing happened, you guys. He goes, we think that nest has been active since post-glacial. 14,000 years of eagle activity, you guys. And he never stuttered again. Such a beautiful moment, you guys. So here's this incredible, those of you that run rivers, those big whitewater canyons, that's the spot that you're looking for nesting, raptors especially, the eagles, the adult birds will guard the eaglets throughout the developmental stage. One of the 2 birds will stay with the nest all the time because there's parasitism, you guys. Ravens will come in and steal the chick, gulls will come in and steal the chicks, and then the other thing is the adult birds are teaching the eaglets to move to the side of the nest and shoot their poop off the edge of the nest. No fecal material allowed inside the nest. And within that, the adult, they're so fuzzy. The soft tile feathering, you guys, is really, it's important to keep them warm, but if they get wet, they'll go hypothermic really fast. And so the adults, they're bringing them food all the time, they're growing in a couple ounces a day, and the adults will actually use their wings to create these amazing rain shadows and also sun shadows to protect the eaglets during brilliant weather conditions and adverse weather conditions. And within this, there's this incredible relationship that goes on. I was working up on the Juneau ice field, you guys, and I get this telephone call from my base commander on the Motorola. Back then, the Motorola was about as big as your car. Big telephone radio, you guys, it was huge. And he goes, hey, Brent, listen, we've got a little assignment for you. Now, in the military, a little assignment usually means you go to another country and you kill somebody. I said, what? He goes, we want you to steal bald eagle eggs. I go, that's the law. We're not allowed to do that. He goes, we're the military. We don't care. I was like, wait. He goes, no. What we found out is if you steal the eggs, within a few days of the time that they lay the eggs, they'll double clutch. They'll lay another set of eggs. And Southeast Alaska is one of the few places where they had enough body resources and food resources to allow that to happen. I said, what are we going to do with the eggs? And he goes, oh, we've got these really cool incubation chambers. You're going to put the eggs into the incubation chambers, and then we're going to put those in Learjets and fly them to the East Coast. Connecticut, New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, all has eagles from Alaska. This was called eagle flight. Some of you are aware that during that time period in the 1960s, 1970s, Massachusetts had 0 breeding pairs of bald eagles. We reintroduced genetics into that corridor, guys. And once they hit maturity, we just let them go. It was up to them to figure the whole thing out, and it worked, guys. It totally worked. So come with me up to the nest. There's a couple things that you're going to need. Desert Storm helmet, okay. Full metal jacket, because we're talking about a bird that functions like a velociraptor, you guys. One of them will keep your attention while the other one comes in from behind with talons that are as big as your thumbs and buries them into the back of your head. If you're not guarded, you drop 250 feet, you die. We came up to this nest because we stole eggs from this nest. We wanted to see if they had given birth to another one. Indeed, it had. Absolutely. We didn't have eagle camps back then, you guys. We didn't have nest camps. Nowadays, you can petition your individual state fish and game and fish folks, and they'll put eagle cams in the eagle nest so that your kids and the schools can watch these. It's such an amazing thing. One of the best eagle camps ever was right near Victoria, British Columbia, on Vancouver Island. Greatest number of web hits that ever happened on the web. Everybody was watching the eagles all day long. It was such a beautiful thing, you guys. And usually it's late July, going into August. They'll start putting food out onto the branches, okay? And the eaglets are bouncing from branch to branch, developing breast muscle capability, flight coordination, things like that. Now at this point, they're cryptic as far as their color, you guys. This is the moment when they get confused with golden eagles. Now we have no golden eagles here along the BC coast. We have only immature bald eagles. And then the wind hits one day, and they're like, whoa! And they're out on the wing. And they don't know how to fly, and they don't know how to land. And they're out there, and they're going, I'm spinning. Oh, primaries help with this a bit, okay? Now they're coming back to the nest, you guys. And the nest is a giant landing platform. It's not cup-shaped like a robin nest or a hummingbird nest, and they're coming in hot. And they're just like, whoa, 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 whoa. That was a good landing. 85% of the eaglets die within the first 24 hours because they don't know how to fly and they don't know how to land. They miss the nest, fall down through the branches, break a wing, puncture a lung. If they fall all the way to the ground and survive, because they don't have the breast muscle strength to just take off and fly away, they have to find at least a 6-foot drop in elevation in order to get the glide speed that they need in order to take off. So now they gotta hunker down. Now they gotta worry about bears. Now they gotta worry about wolves. I want you to meet this bird. This bird fell out of the nest in Hoona, Alaska, and that day the kids were on their way to school, and this bird followed them. And the kids are like, this is so cool. They're chumming them with smoked salmon, crackers, and stuff like that. Got all the way to the school. The bird stayed on the playground all day and then followed the kids home for 4 years. Walked back and forth to school every day with the kids. During the summer months, the kids would swap off who was going to take care of Buddy while they went out fishing. And then year 5 hit. And Buddy hit sexual maturity. And all those kids were breeding partners. He had pair bonded with the kids. But at that point, he was really dangerous in the Hoona area, guys. But we used him in classrooms all over the state, you guys. Alaska Airlines would fly him first class up to Fairbanks. It was so incredible. The pilot would actually come back and sit next to Buddy in the seat. He'd talk with him, And when we got to the classrooms, we always said to the kids, whatever you do, don't make a lot of noise, because if you make a lot of noise, Buddy's going to get upset. And there'd always be one kid. And Buddy's like, nailed the kid every time. It was one of the best classroom management tools we had. It was so So here's this immature bird with this cryptic plumage, guys, and they'll hang on to this for the first 4.5 years of their life. And what we found was they have a tendency to drop from their perch. They don't have the strength yet in order to just take off, and so they'll drop away. So you got to focus a little bit low. And it's about year 4.5 that you start picking up that white head and tail feathers. By year 5, fully mature plumage. At this point, it's almost impossible to know how old this bird is. Well, it used to be. But then you guys started participating in bird banding programs and helping us with fly corridors and documenting all the raptors that are out there. And just recently, you gave us one of the greatest ornithologic gifts on the planet. A self-charging computer chip bird band. We can turn the band on, get the information about the bird, where it's been, what it's been doing, get heart rate, all sorts of other great stuff, turn it back off, it charges right back up again. We never have to touch the bird again. All other bird banding programs, you have to reharvest the bird to get the information off the band. This is a huge step, you guys. We know that they live about 30, 35 years out in the wild. In captivity, they'll live 45, 50, 55 years. They've got free food and free medicine. What a concept. The adults will spring off the perch. They'll actually, you got to focus a little bit high, you guys, as far as, and what we found when we started doing research with Cornell, you guys, is that eagles don't like to flap their wings, you guys. This is a huge waste of calories as far as their world is concerned. So they will display this behavior over short distances from one perch to another at feeding sites associated with displacement. It's really, really, really valuable to understand that eagles don't want to waste energy. And so when they get ready to start migrating, which is right about now, you guys, over the course of into September, starting into October, they'll start picking up thermals. They'll grab a thermal, they'll get to the top of it, they'll soar to the top of that, and then they'll head to the next thermal and pick that one up, and they'll migrate right down the coastline, right down into southern BC, on down into Washington State, on into Oregon, all the way down into California. We get birds that'll move like this. Look at the adjustments in the feathers. Oh, now, we're talking about a raptor. We're talking about a bird that hunts. And the bald eagle is a pretty mediocre hunter. Out of 10 swoops, they'll be lucky if they get 3 fish. Check it out. Oops, missed. Goes back in, goes after it again. Oops, oh, I got a little nibble. Okay, they'll forage like this, you guys, when there's a lot of food available. They'll work at the surface, but most of the time, their job is cleaning up. Dead fish on the beach, 21 birds. No, it's just, that's what they do. Dead cow on the side of the road, eagles like crazy on it. Dead deer, that's what they do, you guys. They're really important to the ecosystem. They eliminate disease, they eliminate all sorts of things by cleaning up these dead animals that are along the side of the roads. And really valuable to understand that here's a bird that can hunt, but chooses to do it another way. When I came up the Inside Passage, you guys, back in the early years when I came up, I came up via the Alaska Marine Highway. We got to Ketchikan. It was a misty, rainy, yucky, kind of overcast day, and the taxi drivers are standing there at the ferry terminal with their sunglasses on. That should have been my warning. And they go, hey, want to go to the secret eagle watching site? I go, whoa, yeah, $20. And he took me to the dump. There were hundreds of eagles on the dump, you guys. And there were bears there too. It was incredible. And that's when we realized that the open dumps all over Alaska were completely changing the foraging techniques of everything, including the bears, including the eagles and everything. So we started closing those dumps down. Slowly the birds started moving back to their normal foraging behaviors. Within their feeding regimes, you guys, what we found is the oldest bird tends to be the most vocal. He's basically saying, this is my restaurant, you can't eat here, okay? Now, this other bird over here is almost the same age, so they're arguing back and forth. But what we also noticed on these feeding stratagems, you guys, is that when a bird with a white head landed next to an immature bird that had food, the immature bird was obligated to back away from the food and let the white head eat. Think about that up in the buffet line. Whitehead walks up, back away. Do not challenge the whitehead for the food. And immature bird will wait and wait and wait. Maybe he gets a little bit to eat, maybe. They have baby fat, you guys. Their first year, classically, the immature birds will have several pounds worth of baby fat that they're going to be surviving off of as they learn these hunting techniques. Miss Jennifer, she was using herring. She was casting herring out. Herring are hugely valuable to eagles, you guys, loaded with protein, lots of oils and all that. And the eagle grabbed hold of the fish and realized it was on a tether. and let go. They have the ability to open and close their talons whenever they want, you guys. And so when you hear somebody tell you, oh, the eagle has to have pressure on the talons before they can release, oh! But what they do have is a really cool locking mechanism down inside the tarsus. So once they grab hold of something, that locking mechanism locks in. Now the muscles don't have to be clenched. The muscles don't cramp. They can open that with just a nervous twitch. They can open those anytime they want, you guys. So they're swapping food in midair all the time. Oh, osprey. They love coming in underneath of an osprey, flipping over, grab the osprey's food, flip the osprey over. Osprey freaks out, let's go. They're constantly stealing food from other creatures. It's beautiful. They're opportunistic. That means if there's a baby harbor seal on the ice, they're going to take it. This came home really strong, you guys. This couple from Florida, wow. They drove their Winnebago all the way to Alaska. And they brought the family dog with them. It was one of those little hairless dogs. It's so cool, you know. They got outside of Anchorage, a place called Eagle River. And he says, honey, I need to fuel the Winnebago. And she goes, okay, I'm going to take the dog for a walk. And he goes, honey, this is Eagle River. That's not a good choice. She goes, I'm taking the dog for a walk. And he's like, okay. She's out there in heels, walking the dog around the back of the Winnebago. Eagle comes out of nowhere, nails the dog. She's behind the Winnebago going, my dog. He's beside the Winnebago going, yes. 10,000 miles of that little dog going, there's a little bit of humor in nature. You just have to find it. But that's the moment when we found out that an eagle can lift roughly half its body weight, roughly 4 pounds, you guys. That comes home really strong when you hear somebody say, yeah, the dang eagle took one of my cows. You just gotta laugh, you guys. The cow was probably already dead. The eagle's just trying to clean it up. But when you start to understand that they're raptors, you guys, they hunt with their feet, not with their beak. They'll never strike you with their beak. They always hunt with the feet. And that thumb talon is really important. They'll sink that thumb talon in, and then they collapse the finger talons down over the top. They've got a crush capability of 400 pounds per square inch. 10 times the capability of the human hand as far as its strength is concerned. They hunt. And that positioning right there, that's so important, you guys, because now they're understanding parallax, the bending of light through the water. The fish is not where it is supposed to be, and so the eagle has to pause long enough to figure out where the fish is in space and time. These hunts, this is one of the reasons that out of 10 swoops, they're lucky if they get 3 fish. And that's the beauty of the herring, you guys. When they're at the surface, man, now, eagle's able to see those herring and strike very successfully. That's such a beautiful thing. Look at the eye, you guys. Look at the eye. They have something really cool. They have a fighting membrane, you guys. And when they make the strike, the nictitating membrane drops down over the eye and protects it. As soon as they finish the strike, the membrane goes back up and they get able to see again. You know other creatures like this. Crocodiles and alligators, which the eagle is related to. So amazing, you guys. As we start understanding these hunting techniques, as they come in for the strike, there's the pause, whoosh, grab, whoops, miss. 10 swoops, maybe 3 fish. Okay? And practice. So this is a lot of energy that's going on here. And that